In to the hottest show, the SoCal Boxing Report on 102.3 and 106.5 FM on KCAA.
SoCal Boxing, SoCal Boxing, Boxing Report.
You tuning in?
Boxing Report.
Furious like Pacquiao with De La Hoya left foot, but funny like the model metal pious. Take a second look, relentless like Salvador Sanchez and Johnny Tapia. Hard to hit like Witty, converge for Verge Mafia.
So now they're taking you, making you, never faking you. Heart like Holyfield, but like a Tyson punch and breaking you. Like the first fight of Eric Morales and Barrera. They're running in the race to win it in Spanish Carrera.
So make sure that you listen every Sunday on the hour. They're climbing up the ranks with that George Foreman power. So while the competition bobs and weaves the punches, like Sugar Ray Leonard, they're coming quick and in bunches.
Like Bernard Hopkins, determination and longevity. I'll take this opportunity to plug random comedy, known as Chulo in the music industry. From Pomona, much respect to Shane Mosley.
SoCal Boxing, SoCal Boxing, Boxing Report, Boxing Report. SoCal Boxing, SoCal Boxing, Boxing Report, Boxing Report.
This is Anthony Stack Saldana, and I'm here with my host, Danny Z, and this is the Southern California Boxing Report. How's it going, Danny?
Oh, we're back. Another Sunday, right? Let's do this.
Man, another Sunday, another week of good fights. Started off Thursday night out in the desert, Fantasy Springs Casino. You had the Golden Boy on ESPN series. Headlining that card was Ryan Garcia.
First time headline as a professional, right?
Yeah, against Fernando Vargas, bro.
Not that Fernando Vargas.
Not that Fernando Vargas, but yeah, Fernando Vargas. But on that card, man, you had one of Golden Boy's prospects, Emilio Sanchez, out of Pacoima, California, undefeated.
Right.
Goes up against a very unknown fighter from the Philippines and gets knocked out in the second round. And it was a brutal knockout, man. Golden Boy had a tough time this weekend, man. A couple of their prospects ended up losing. It wasn't a good week for Golden Boy, I tell you that, with some of their undefeated prospects taking that L. You know, it's not always bad to take an L.
Tough week.
A tough week, man. But did you watch the fight Thursday?
I did. I didn't catch the undercard fights, all of them. You know, I mostly tuned in for Ryan.
Yeah.
But you know, we were texting about it and then talking about the knockout that Emilio suffered, and it was brutal.
Yeah, it was
Brutal.
really bad. I mean, he was out with his eyes open. I mean, arms out above his head, both of his arms out above his head, and he was completely knocked out.
Yeah, and it was one of those knockouts like where you're just like it's spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly.
Bam.
And you know, these fighters coming in from the Philippines, man, they're Mexican assassins, man.
Yeah.
They're coming in, and Golden Boy's bringing them in. And they're not.
You know, that's the first thing I thought of, because I was like, oh, another Filipino. I was like, I don't think this is gonna be easy, because I thought about
Chimpas.
Chimpa,
Yeah.
and then I even thought about when Oscar Valdez fought in Arizona against Cervania. Remember?
Yeah,
And
against
he
Genesis.
knocked him down. Like and he's Filipinos, man. Like, but I think these promotional companies, especially Golden Boy now, they have to recognize, okay, like these Filipino fighters, they're gonna give them a fight.
Yeah.
But if they can beat these guys, then that's a real good test and a real good experience for them.
It is. It's a good measuring stick, and it's a good stepping stone, and it's good matchmaking. Some people say, "Oh, that's, you know, why would Golden Boy do that to their fighters?" But you know, I was talking to somebody at the Fantasy Springs, and I was telling them, man, at a certain point in a fighter's career, they have to take that step and they have to challenge themselves. They just can't keep fighting these guys coming up from TJ and, you know, from across the border and getting first round and second round knockouts because they don't test themselves.
Right.
They need a test. And I think Golden Boy would probably rather have it happen like that. I'm not saying they want it to happen.
Right.
But I'm sure they'd rather have it happen on a smaller card like that than having one of their undefeated fighters get knocked out on a pay-per-view undercard in the first or
like an
second round.
HBO card or something.
Exactly,
yeah.
man.
No, I get it. Yeah, in terms of that, I get it. But then you also got to think about that. You know, even though it wasn't like a pay-per-view card, it was on ESPN. And
Yeah.
a lot of homes in the United States have access to ESPN. So I mean, I didn't see the ratings how
Yeah.
the show did, but I mean, it catches a lot of eyeballs.
And it was packed out there, man. I was there. We got
They
there.
said it was sold out. Was it?
was
it sold
sold out, man. Standing room
out?
only.
When's the last time that Fantasy Springs was sold out?
The last time it was sold out was February of last year.
Vargas,
Vargas,
right?
Vargas
Yeah.
Burchell.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was Takashi Miura was on the undercard.
I can't believe they fought there. I told man, that was a pretty cool card.
Yeah, that night I was actually at the Frampton Santa Cruz 2 fight.
Right. Right.
And I was
right.
kind of toggling back and forth, watching on my phone the
And that was in Vegas.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was in Vegas.
We were
that
all
night.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were there with
That's
us.
right. Yeah. But I remember keeping tabs on the Vargas Burchell card down here, and I was like, man, like maybe I should have went to that one. But I like the Frampton Santa Cruz card too.
And that was the night that the referee Raul Caiz Jr. They took the picture of him standing in the corner,
All that blood.
and his shirt was just full of
drenched.
blood.
Drenched.
Like-
it went from blue to red.
Right?
So it's like, the referee's wearing red shirts now? No, it was just blood.
It was just blood. That much blood that Francisco had lost,
Mhm.
and it was. And talking about Francisco, he'll be fighting again at Fantasy Springs next
I
month.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna
He
be.
doesn't stop, man. He
no,
doesn't stop.
he's gonna be coming into the ring against the kid, the lightning
Oh.
bolt from Philadelphia, man, Rod Salka.
Rod Salka.
Rod
Yeah.
Salka, yeah.
I remember every time I think of Rod Salka, I always think about
the Danny Garcia fight.
yeah, man. Oh man, that always pops into my head.
That was a brutal knockout,
It
man.
was nasty.
But he went from 130 to 140 to fight Garcia,
Yeah.
and
he
got
did.
knocked out. Now he's coming back down to 130 for Garcia.
Hey man,
You know what? I think this is going to be a tougher fight for Fernando. For
Francisco Vargas. yeah.
than people think.
Hmm.
You know.
So yeah, Salka's like, people can joke about him all he wants. I mean, he's a fighter.
Yeah.
He could fight.
Exactly. So
But I mean, that should be a pretty solid card, and it's right here in Fantasy Springs, small venue. That if you're looking, to go out to a fight and get your money's worth, hey, that's a pretty good one to go to.
yeah, and in the main event Thursday night, you had the local prospect out of Victorville, California. You had Ryan Garcia,
19 years old.
King Rye,
King Rye.
the Flash.
Hey, okay, let me ask you this: the whole nickname thing. Okay, he goes by King Rye, which is a nickname he gave himself,
Yeah.
and now they're calling him the Flash. So are we doubling up the nicknames? Is he sticking with one? What's going on here? Somebody talk to me here.
I think it's the Flash now, man. His trunks had the Flash on it.
I guess. I
Yeah,
mean,
so-
I like the Flash better than King Rye.
Yeah.
I like that, because he's got the speed and the hand speed and all that stuff. But I was thinking about that. He's got two nicknames now. Are we gonna stick with this?
I heard a lot of people, they were bashing him on, on Facebook and on social media, talking about his opponent. Here's the thing, man. This guy fought for a world championship last
2016. It was in 2016 over there in London against McConnell.
Yeah, against Jamie McConnell.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy bangs, man.
Yeah. And he has more than double the fights than Ryan does. So
I think he
he's
has
been in
50
there.
fights.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so the experience has to count for something.
Right.
And you guys got to understand that Ryan's a 15-time amateur national champion, and he's just starting off his pro career. He's only 14 and 0, 13 KOs.
Right.
So I don't know what people want from him. They just want him to jump in the ring with Ali. It's like,
Well,
come on.
it's because of his attitude.
Yeah,
It's his brashness and everything. Like, that's why. If he was just like, essentially, he's a humble kid, but he has a confidence, of course.
yeah.
He has the attitude to make himself a lot more marketable. But if he was just a quiet kid, maybe like a Joseph Diaz Jr. or something, just quiet, just talking in the ring, people wouldn't be calling for him. Oh, fight this guy now, fight this Gervonta Davis, all these guys at 130. It's because he exudes the confidence. So people, it's like with Floyd, they wanted to see him lose. Like, oh, okay, get in there with these fighters. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And no, Ryan looked really good, man.
First round.
First round.
Or was it second?
No, first
it was
round.
the first round.
Yeah,
it was towards the end of the round when he
the end of the
knocked him
round.
out.
Fernando Vargas, the one that he fought, his last two fights, he lost by decision.
Mhm.
But one of them was a majority decision, and he fought another Golden Boy prospect, Horacio Garcia. And they went the distance, and I actually thought that Vargas had beat Garcia. Garcia, of course, he pulled it out on the scorecards.
Right.
And I thought it was gonna go a little bit further than one round.
Mhm.
But the speed of Garcia and the power.
He was actually, I was impressed with his patience. He was like, staying calm, and then he was trying to box him and stuff and look for his spot. and he found his spot, and he got him with that 1-2, and finished him off.
Yeah, he cracked him with an overhand right. He stepped back, and he shot a feint, and then cracked him with that same overhand right, and then caught him with the left hook / uppercut.
Right.
Put him down, and that was all she wrote for Garcia.
And then if you guys are watching on Facebook Live, of course, call in with your opinions about the Ryan Garcia fight from this past Thursday on ESPN 1-888-909-1050 1-888-909-1050. Let's see what the fans think, of course, in addition to our opinions. But I agree. I didn't think I thought it was going to go longer than 1 round.
Yeah,
maybe at least 2. It was his first 10-round fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. But no, he took care of business in the first 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, and then on the undercard in the co-main event, you had Eddie E-Boy Gomez, and he was going up against Keandre Gibson.
Yeah.
Keandre Gibson.
He fought. Who did he fight?
Antonio Orozco.
Orozco last year.
Last year was
Right.
the very first Golden Boy on ESPN card. It was at the Cosmopolitan in Vegas.
Right.
And Orozco knocked him out.
Mhm.
It was his first loss. Gomez had lost like 2 of his last 3 fights, including one to Rashidi Ellis.
Right.
So, it was a must-win basically for Gomez. And he came out there, and the first round was a filling out round.
Mhm.
And then the second round, Gibson cracked him. And when he cracked him, he got caught at the same time with the straight right by Gomez.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was a short straight right hand that put Keandre down. And Gibson, he never recovered from it, man.
Absolutely
he got up, and the ref told him to come to him, and he looked both ways and kind of looked at his corner.
Yeah,
and
he was like, "Where am I?"
He didn't know where he was at.
Yeah.
They waved it off, man. It was a quick fight that got waved off. So,
But no, he was excited after that win. You could see it. He was throws that hands in the air, and I was just like, "Good for him." Good for him. And I like Gibson. I like Keandre Gibson, but it looks like his time might be winding down. But hey, you never know. It just takes that one performance again to shoot you back up the rankings. So I don't know. What'd you think?
I think Gomez just wanted it a little bit more.
Right.
I think he knew his career was on the line, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that he couldn't recover if he took that 3rd or 4th loss, whatever it was going to be for him. But I think he felt the hunger, and he felt like he had to go out there and get that victory over Gibson to put himself back into contention for another world title shot down the line sometime. So,
what do you think? Going back to the main event, Ryan Garcia. What do you think they're going to do next with him? Because of course, he was on. The fight finished a lot earlier than the scheduled broadcast was supposed to be ending. I think the ending was like 8, and Brian Garcia finished the fight like at 7:10, 7:15 Pacific time. And then they asked him in his post-fight interview on the side of the ring right there, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm coming back. Canelo Triple G undercard, HBO." You think that's gonna come to fruition? Assuming we'll get down to the Canelo Triple G, suspension and all that stuff if the fight's going to keep going later on in the show. But assuming it goes on as scheduled, you think he's going to be on there?
Yes. He sells a lot of tickets. That fight's going to sell itself out, but he still sells a lot of tickets. And if he's not on that Cinco de Mayo card, expect him to be headlining the ESPN card the night before.
The night before, yeah.
Because Golden Boy does have an arena locked up.
Is it what arena? Is it MGM?
They just have the date locked up with the commission, with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. They do have May 4th locked up, and they always do that. They do
And then I think they asked somebody asked Oscar De La Hoya on this past Thursday, who would potentially be on the ESPN card on May 4th, and he said it was going to be a world championship fight. That's what he said, and I was trying to think, okay, well, who could it be? Could it be Burchell? Maybe
it could be. I mean, it could be Burchell. I don't know. I mean, what world champions do they have?
I mean,
they have Alberto Machado.
Unless yeah.
And unless he's going into the ring against Ryan Garcia, I mean,
you think they would push him that fast?
I know Ryan's calling for it. He wants a world title. He wants to be a 19-year-old with a world championship belt. To me, I don't think it's a good idea to get in there with Alberto Machado.
Machado's way too experienced for him.
Yeah, Machado can bang.
Yeah, Machado, he can.
He got dropped and came back from adversity when he took on the kid from Panama, Jezreel Corrales.
Right.
They fought at the Turning Stone Casino out in New York, and he came back and won that fight. So
do you think there's a question, there's a comment here from one of the fans, Victor Garcia. Thanks for commenting on Facebook Live. He says that Ryan needs to be on the Canelo Triple G2 card. Does he have to be on there, or is it better for him to be on the ESPN card the night before, especially if he's fighting for a world title?
I think he should have a card to himself. And here's the reason why.
It makes him a bigger star.
It does, but not just that, but there's supposed to be some really big fights. Chocolatito coming back May 5th.
Right.
Jojo Diaz possibly up against Gary Russell Jr., but I don't know if that's going to go into play, man.
Chocolatito's fighting May 5th?
Yeah. Chocolatito's coming back.
Not on that card.
Yes, on that card.
When
man.
was this?
It's a
Why does nobody tell me this stuff?
Don't trip.
Why does nobody tell me this stuff? I saw he was training again, but I
It
didn't
hasn't been announced, but he's coming back.
Okay,
May
we got
5th.
the inside
He's
scoop.
he's coming back
Stacks
May 5th.
with the inside scoop.
Chocolatito will be on that card. All right.
Tentatively,
Tentatively.
but it looks like it might happen. Damn.
Damn, Stacks.
Hey, that's you got me good on that one, because that's
So yeah,
that's
I mean,
awesome.
yeah, Ryan. If he's on that card, he's gonna get a lot more popular. What's he got? 586,000 Instagram followers or something.
Yeah, I know
So-
they keep going back to that, and people could, like we were talking about just before we came on the air. People can hate on the guy for his attitude and the confidence he exudes, and all this stuff, and all the little girls liking him and having
Yeah.
crushes on him and stuff. But he's marketable. He's selling himself, and if he can keep knocking guys out and winning, and of course keep improving, tweaking his fighting style here and there as he gets older, man, he can make Golden Boy a ton of money.
Oh yeah.
Ton of money. Superstar status.
We also have somebody saying that they want to see David Lemieux on the card, and you know what? That's a name that we really haven't heard lately or talked about. And
Well, not since his loss to Billy
To
Joe
Billy Joe
Saunders. And Billy
Saunders.
Joe Saunders outclassed him.
yeah,
Like,
he outboxed him,
Yeah. It was.
and I didn't expect that
I
from
didn't
Billy
expect
Joe
that.
Saunders.
I thought, and Lemieux's, knockout artist, man. I thought, oh man, Lemieux's gonna jump in there, and somebody's gonna go down, and nobody went down.
Billy Joe took Triple G style that fight. When he fought Lemieux, he basically used his jab and popped Triple G popped Lemieux, popped him, stayed on the outside, and he outboxed him.
Yeah.
And that's what Billy Joe did. Billy Joe just outclassed him for all 12 rounds. I mean, he basically schooled him.
Yeah.
He schooled him. All right, then yesterday, man, we had some good fights. We'll start
Well,
off with
let's,
the Golden Boy fights. Well, go ahead.
No, let me because let me touch on the Lemieux thing. Like, if Lemieux is on that card, on the Canelo Triple G card, I mean, who would they put him up against? Who do you think? I don't know.
Quigley? I know Quigley's fighting this Saturday,
You
but I
think
mean,
so? I don't know, man. Lemieux, regardless if he lost to Billy Joe Saunders and stuff, Lemieux's still dangerous. I think he's way too dangerous for Quigley.
Rosado?
Maybe. I mean, because Rosado, maybe. But still, though.
Golden Boy really doesn't have anybody at 160, though, man.
No, they don't.
Lemieux Jacobs?
Yeah, but Jacob has a contract where he's gonna headline his card.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
He wouldn't do it.
Card.
I think Jacobs is gonna be there, ringside, looking for the winner.
Yeah.
Which he probably won't get because it's probably gonna be a third one. But yeah, I don't know. That's an intriguing question with Lemieux. I don't know who he would fight on there. I really don't.
Put him against O'Sullivan, man.
No.
No?
I don't know. They need. I don't know. I mean, the
Spike.
the event's already gonna sell itself with Canelo
Yeah.
Triple G, but I mean, you still want to try to put something on there in the undercard, unless you get Joseph Diaz and Gary Russell.
Man, the time is ticking on that, man.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think so either.
I don't think it's gonna happen. I think if they do fight, they're gonna headline an ESPN card later this year.
The WBC needs to step in and just strip Gary Russell of his title. So
I know,
and he's not fighting anybody.
Yeah,
man.
well, I mean, what's going on there? Like, it's like the whole Adonis Stevenson thing. Stevenson's had the title since 2014 and hasn't really fought anybody prominent.
Yeah.
And he can only fight in Canada. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, you got to do something here. Like, I don't know. That's another topic for another day.
Somebody says Lemieux, Willie Monroe.
I don't know, man. Willie Monroe's style is just boring.
Yeah, he's
I
coming
like
off
Willie.
of a loss too, right? He lost to the kid in England, Eubanks, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Willie Monroe, I like him. He's a slick fighter and everything. But, like, I don't know. But Lemieux is the type of fighter to make you want to bang with him.
Yeah.
So it could happen, but I don't know. Willie Monroe just fought on that card, on that Showtime card or PBC card, but they didn't even advertise it. I think he just had like a little tune-up fight. I don't know if you remember, but I was surprised. I was like, what? He was on the card, but it was in New York, I think, Barclays. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe William Monroe, but even then, I don't know. Lemieux might come back though. That makes sense.
Exactly, man. So the cards yesterday. Did you watch those fights on ESPN last night?
Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught the main event, and then I read about the Joshua Franco, Robert Garcia trained.
Yeah.
And he's been in the Golden Boy stable for quite a while now. You know,
Undefeated super flyweight fighter.
yeah.
Good kid. The
Mhm.
professor. They said they call him the professor
The
because he
professor.
walked into the gym with a V-neck sweater and his glasses, and
That's
they
hilarious.
clowned him. They called him the professor.
That's hilarious.
And then he
It
put
was like he was coming for a job interview or
Yeah.
something, right? Like he's just like, oh, I gotta impress these guys. They're like, what are you doing here, man? This is a boxing gym. It's just like I would want to fight.
And
Like,
then he put the gloves on, and they said, "Man, this guy got hands."
yeah,
Signed him, you know. Golden
that's so
Boy
funny
signed
though.
him.
That the professor. That's so
professor.
funny.
You know, and so he took on a kid out of Argentina
Mm-hmm.
that couldn't get any sparring in Argentina because there's nobody his size down there. He said so. He moved
That's insane,
to
huh?
Puerto Rico, picked up his family and packed up. He has 2 kids. He has a wife and 2 kids, and she's due any day.
Yeah.
They're just kind of there in Puerto Rico, and he's looking for sparring partners. He gets signed to Miguel Cotto Promotions,
Mm-hmm.
and his Fernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Fernandez.
Fernandez.
Lucas Fernandez. The reason I remember his first name is because they kept calling him Matisse in the first round. Oh, Lucas
Yeah.
Matisse, Matisse,
Yeah.
Matisse.
It could just slipped out.
Yeah, it kept slipping out.
But I mean, like, even though he won, and you know, I like Franco, of course. I think he'll bounce back. He'll be okay. But
yeah.
you know,
Well, Franco dropped him in the first round,
he
man.
Did. Franco was essentially,
He was
winning
winning
the
that
fight.
whole fight.
and then at the end, you know, he just got worked, and the referee stopped it. In
Yeah,
the ninth round, I think.
He got caught with a big uppercut
Mhm.
that it stunned him. I wouldn't say he was out on his feet, but he was stunned pretty bad.
Mhm.
And Fernandez took flight on him
Yeah.
and hit him with about 10 unanswered shots. He was trying
It
to
was
hold
a
on.
lot. It was a lot.
He
I
was trying
saw
to
that.
hold on. And, you know, I think he should have took a knee.
Mhm.
You know, and people say, oh, well, unless you were losing a fight, you don't know to take a knee unless you've been losing a fight before. But that's not true, and I'll tell you why.
Why, Stacks?
We were
Preach it.
at a fight where Abraham Lopez had taken on, I forget who, and it was the night before Canelo Chavez, and it was
ESPN card.
ESPN card. He was
Yeah.
fighting for a title. And
He got worked.
He got worked, and he took a knee
Yeah.
twice.
Mhm.
You know, so fighters can do it. They don't have to be losing a fight or have ever been losing a fight, you know, to not know to take a knee. He knew he was getting hurt. He started stumbling. He told us after the fight, I didn't want to get knocked out, so I took a knee. He still lost the fight.
Yeah.
You know, he ended up losing on a TKO, but, you know, maybe Franco should have just took a knee. I don't know what the rules were in Puerto Rico. I don't know if there's a standing 8 count, but they could have, you know, maybe gave him a standing 8 count. You know, just, I don't know.
I think you know, with the whole Lucas Fernandez things, and you know, a lot of people forget that Miguel Cotto has essentially his own promotion company, and he's, you know, has a deal with Golden Boy where they're going to put his fighters on Golden Boy cards on ESPN and stuff like that. So it works out for both parties. But even though, you know, Miguel Cotto's fighter won, I think it's still good for Golden Boy because they're still going to be able to utilize him on TV and get
Run
a cut.
it back at the Belasco, man.
Really? Actually, yeah, that'd be a good venue.
That'd be a hell of a fight. Puerto Rico, Mexico, United States, Mexican American kid.
You know what? I could see that. I could see them put in. I don't know, but yeah, maybe.
The main event at the Belasco, man.
I could see that. Or even Fantasy Springs, like a co-main event or
Yeah.
something. Like, I could see that.
Franco's a tough kid. He'll be back.
Yeah, he's fine. How old is he?
I think he's like 19 or 20. He's not very
no,
old.
he's older than that.
He's
isn't he?
check box there or box rack, man.
He's older than that. I feel like he's been around quite a couple years already.
Yeah, but he'll definitely be back, man. We're gonna give a shout out right now to Gabe Perales. What's going on, Gabe? Gabe from Marquee Fights
Thanks for the support.
out there with the Boxing Expo, getting things ready for next month.
Talking about the Boxing Expo real quick. You know, we're gonna have Joseph Landeros. How's he? 17 now, or is he 16?
17.
17.
Just turned 17.
Just turned 17.
Yeah.
And Let's Go Champ, the Cannon.
The Cannon will be out
Briggs.
there. Yeah.
That's insane. That guy's gonna take over that whole spot, man.
If you guys are out in Vegas for the Canelo Triple G fight, or the date that supposedly is supposed to take place, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, if you guys are in Vegas, stop by the Las Vegas Convention Center. The SoCal Boxing Report will have a booth there. We'll be broadcasting live. Several fighters are supposed to show up. I know we're probably going to be sitting right next to Andre Ward.
Right.
So Andre Ward will be around. There'll be a lot of fighters there.
There's going to be a lot of personalities, a lot of big boxing
Yeah,
stars at the Box Expo. So it's cool to go, especially if you're going out there for the Canelo Triple G thing.
Yeah, I know Zab Judah's already going to be out there. They're mentioning Floyd's name again. Shannon Briggs is going to be out there. Eric Morales is going to be out there. So there's quite a few that have already confirmed. Tickets are $30 if you get them pre-sale. So make sure to get your early bird tickets. Yeah, you can get onto our link, the SoCalBoxingReport.com. We have a link on there. You can get our link is also
We'll put it on the
on
Facebook channel.
on our Facebook and
IG.
IG. That way you can buy your tickets. So it's looking like it's going to be a good time out there. May
And if you
5th.
use our link, it helps us out as well. It gives us a little kickback to support the show. So, and then you're just buying the tickets. So we'd appreciate that if you can, click on that link on our pages, SoCalBoxingReport.com, Facebook.
Yeah.
Really helps us out.
And if you're out there, man, you stop by the radio, stop by our booth, man. We'll put you on the radio live.
Yeah.
We'll get you out there.
We are going to
We're going to
broadcast
talk to the
out there,
fans.
right?
Yeah, we're going to broadcast. We're going
Okay.
to talk to the fans and everything. So, make sure you stop by and say what's up.
That's going to be fun, man.
It was fun last year.
It's going to be a long day, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember last year, I was like, man. I got into the arena. I was like, oh, man, we still got like 4 more hours.
And then we partied till like 2 in the morning after the fight,
I
remember?
know.
Where'd you guys end up? You ended up at the hospital,
I
right?
should have told you no. You were just, let's keep going. I was like,
All right, man. And then the main event last night, Santiago Martinez. It was a rematch from a fight from last year.
right.
Same venue in Puerto Rico. And what happens? The same results, man.
Mm-hmm.
The kid from TJ, Santiago, he worked Martinez again
Mm-hmm.
for another majority draw.
Right.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Again.
Again. Like, they got to pull.
Did you think it was a draw?
No. I think Santiago won the first time. I think Santiago won the second time.
Convincingly.
Convincingly, man.
Right.
So they gotta move that fight. Have that
The first time did they fight in Puerto Rico?
in the same place in
Oh,
Ponce, in that same
man.
arena, bro.
Oh, man.
Come
Get out
on.
of here with that.
Yeah,
See, I didn't know that. I know they fought the first time, but I didn't know they fought in Puerto Rico.
in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
at
yeah.
the same venue.
They're going to have to move it.
They're gonna have to.
They're going to have
They
to
might
move
as
it.
well just run that whole bout back in LA, man. Bring Franco and Francisco back over here to LA. Bring Santiago and Martinez over here and let them run it back.
I think they're going to have to. Oh, man, if they put it down there again. I mean, it's good for the fans down there. Of course, Puerto Rico's a big boxing, general area down there. But, man, twice and you get a draw. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. But, I was talking to some other people about that fight yesterday. And I know some people were texting me that they were watching it at Last Round. People who don't know about Last Round Bar and Grill in Ontario, California, it's a spot, out here in Southern California to watch a bunch of fights, not just boxing fights, MMA fights. They got 20 flat screens, good food, drinks. That's the spot to be in Southern California for combat sports and boxing, MMA. Last Round Bar and Grill. When's the last time you've been there?
It's been a couple weeks ago, man. I stopped by there, had a shrimp cocktail, and drank a beer. So.
So fancy, huh?
Oh yeah, man.
So
No-
fancy. Stacks, fancy. Saldana.
Yeah. All right. And Gabe is also saying that every week leading up to the Boxing Expo that they're going to be announcing more and more guest appearances. So there's huge things in the works, and it's going to be wild out there in Vegas. Make sure to get your tickets. Get out there to Vegas for the Boxing Expo.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's fun, man. It starts I think it's going to start at 10 or 11,
yeah, 10. It
And it
starts
goes
at 10 in the morning until
until
5.
about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to be there the whole day, of course.
But we had the
but-
fake Canelo there last year with us.
Oh, yeah, last year the fake Canelo was there.
Man, we had him drunk in
And he was-
Mayweather's ring.
He was drunk staying in the TMT ring, and we interviewed him, and he was just talking so much crap about Golden Boy and
And
Oscar.
about the lawsuits.
About the lawsuit. And he started, we told him, go shadowbox in the ring. He's going in there, and he was wearing jeans and
and like a pink ruffle
like
shirt.
a pink ruffle shirt, and he was mad, but he started talking, just letting it out.
Yeah, it was good times, man. It was good times. Also, yesterday HBO, you had the Dillian White Lucas Brown fight.
Right.
That was bad.
I never thought Brown should have been in the first place, even when that fight was made. I get it, but
Look, man, Brown had only fought 3 times in the last 3 years.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, they start talking about his background. They start talking about how he's this tough guy. He was a bouncer in Australia and whatnot. And he got in there, and White took it to him. By the end of the 4th or the 5th round, I told Cynthia, man, look, this is when fighters get killed.
Yeah.
Because it's not the one-punch knockout that hurts these
It
fighters.
was nasty.
It's the accumulation of punches, man.
Right.
It's the accumulation of punches that these guys are taking over and over and over. And you got to figure Dillian White's weighing 265, 275.
Yeah. He's a big guy.
Yeah, so he's just
Stocky. Just.
he cut Brown at the end of the first, cut his eye. He couldn't see, he's bleeding. Bust his nose open, cuts him again, and I mean he's just tagging him. That's where the commission or the corner or even the referee needs to stop that fight, man.
I thought he was gonna start to look like Antonio Margarito after the Pacquiao fight. Remember that?
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be the exact same thing, and you know, and go from there. But
And we'll talk about that when we come back from our sponsor job.
yeah, Last Round Bar and Grill. Make it out there. Ontario, California. That's the spot. I try to transition to that and it didn't work.
The world is an unpredictable place, and life is hard enough as it is. It doesn't take a genius to realize you can't survive sitting down. How do you handle it? How do you prepare? So when life has you against the ropes, what do? Do you duck and run for your life? Or do you swing for the fences and think eventually you land a W? It's not one, but all. You box. In order to win in life and the ring, you need endurance, discipline, strategy, precision, guidance, community, determination, and perseverance. Come and get all of that here at ATR Boxing Club.
Last Round Bar and Grill is the spot in the Inland Empire to watch your combat sports. Located at 1542 West Holt Boulevard in the city of Ontario, Last Round Bar and Grill has delicious food and drinks and has over 20 flat screen TVs. It's a great place to bring your family or hang out with your friends. Be sure to follow Last Round Bar and Grill on Instagram and Facebook for updates on future events. Last Round Bar and Grill.
All right, man. So we're back
We're
on the air
back.
now.
Shout out to Last Round Bar and Grill. Thanks for supporting us since the beginning. And then
They got some fights coming up, man. Last Round Promotions is actually going to be having some fights at the Ontario CPAC, man. So
and that's Leo Santa Cruz's
Leo Santa Cruz's promotion company. They're going to be having some fights April 6th. So if you get your tickets, man.
in Ontario.
In Ontario.
In Ontario, right?
Yeah, in
Those are
Ontario.
some good fights, man. And then you I know people, just like anything, you want to go see the superstars of any type of sport or any type of field. But it's good to come out and support these local shows because
These amateurs.
These
I mean,
amateurs-
not amateurs, but these.
they're professionals.
They're professionals, but
These are going to be the superstars, the stars of in 10 years of the sport. And you're just like, what if you say like,
Yes.
oh, I saw that guy when he was fighting in Ontario. I was this close to him. He was a nice kid. Like, oh, I saw that. Like,
not exactly, man.
So
So,
that,
yeah, make
it
sure
is
to
good
support 'em.
go support those local shows.
Yeah, no, back to that White fight,
Mhm.
the White-Brown fight. And it was a brutal knockout.
Nasty.
He had posted some pictures on Brown. He had posted some pictures on Twitter this morning.
The bouncer. Hey, what's his nickname? His actual nickname, boxing. Does he have one? Yeah, I thought he should start calling himself the bouncer.
Well, he had a little kangaroo on the back of his shorts, man.
Well, he's
So,
Australian, so got to support the down under.
Yeah, and like I was saying, that's where the referee, the commission, the corner, somebody needs to step in.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Because it gets into fighter safety, and
It was a brutal knockout, man.
It
He
was-
was on his face sideways.
I mean, the blood was just pouring out of his nose, his mouth, his eye. It was bad.
It was bad.
And, so we had people yesterday. You had 2 scopes. You had people complaining about Franco's fight being stopped too early.
Yeah.
Then you had people like me complaining that the referee should have stopped the Brown fight a lot earlier.
Right.
When do you come to that happy medium?
A midpoint. Yeah.
When do you decide as
I think that there's always going to be criticisms, and I agree that the Franco fight and the stoppage, and then I agree with with your opinion on the White Brown fight in terms of they should have stopped it earlier, but I don't know how you're supposed to fix that. It's human beings that are essentially in charge of the action. It's not machines where you can get mathematical or something like that, or computers. Like it's a human interaction. How can you fix that?
Is it a certain amount of punches that you take, unanswered punches? Is it a look in the eyes?
You would think that if you're a professional referee, especially refereeing high level competition like that, you would know. You know, but at the end of the day, they're human. But yeah. Sometimes, especially after that, because it could have turned out way worse than it did for Brown. Like that knockout was brutal.
Yeah,
brutal.
So,
right on his face too.
That's something that the WBC, that's something that the WBO, the WBA is going to have to take a look at as far as the refereeing goes and when a fight should be called.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hopefully.
We've had 2 deaths this year in boxing.
Right.
Well, actually, yeah, we have had 2 deaths this year. One was a kid in England, a heavyweight in England.
Mm-hmm.
He died in the ring, and then another one just died last week. He had suffered some bleeding on the brain.
Right.
10 months ago.
Yeah.
And was in a coma for 10 months. And
horrible.
He passed away.
Horrible.
Yeah. So,
it's no joke, man. That's what's the saying? You don't play boxing.
You don't play boxing.
You don't. This isn't a kid's game, man.
It's not.
Any combat sport, even MMA, like all those combat sports, forget it.
You're getting hit. I mean, you work in the medical field.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sure you've seen head injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I work with disabled veterans, and sometimes we have falls.
Yeah.
And it's head injuries are nothing to play with, man.
Mm-hmm.
You get blood clots, you get bleeding on the brain,
especially with all these concussion studies
aneurysms
lately. Like it's pretty crazy.
That's one reason that the WBC had changed the same day weigh-ins.
Right.
We went to a 30-day weigh-in, then they do like a 1-week weigh-in, because too many fighters were dropping too much weight the day of the fight, then going on to fight that same day. They didn't have the fluids in the brain that they needed. They were weak. They were taking a numerous amount of punches, and some of them were dying. And I think, the last 15-round fight they had was the Boom Boom Mancini Dooku Kim fight.
Right.
Where Mancini had killed Dooku Kim. It was just the onslaught of punches for 15 rounds that Dooku had taken. I mean, he was too damn tough for his own good.
Right.
And the ref didn't stop it. The corner didn't stop it. And he was taking a beating. There was no way that he was going to knock out Mancini, man. I've gone back and I've watched that fight over and over. And, of course, Monday morning quarterbacking, you can say, oh, this should have been or that should have been done.
Right, absolutely.
And, it was really good of the WBC to jump in and say, that's it, man. No more 15-rounders. It's too much. It's too long.
Right.
And then to go to the day before weigh-ins gives them time to hydrate, to get their body back to normal.
Right.
When you're dehydrated like that, it's got to be tough, man. I can't even imagine trying to lose, that much weight. A lot of fighters, they stay in shape year round, man. They stay ready for a fight. They usually walk around about 12 to 13 pounds above their weight.
Right.
But then you get some that, man, I've seen some fighters 30 days before the fight weighing 206 pounds and having to drop to 154.
Get out of here.
Trying to eat a hot dog in front of the Belasco, bro.
Frankie Gomez. Wherever you're at.
Where you at, Frankie? No, but no. See, all joking aside, though, it's a dangerous sport. And
I mean, it is what it is. I get it. And you can, in any type of sport, especially, there's always going to be uproar following any type of death or this and that. And they're calling for stricter rules and regulations, but you can only do so much. At the end of the day, you're stepping in there to get hit.
Yeah,
physically.
Exactly. I mean,
what are you supposed to do?
You can't be in your right mind if you're getting in there to get hit anyways.
Yeah.
There's something about a boxer,
the
mentality about a fighter that wants to get in there and get hit. I'm sure it's a hit and not get hit sport.
Right.
But that's never gonna happen. You're gonna absorb some punishment.
Oh,
you gotta know that. You're gonna know that from a kid, man. When you first start training, when these fighters first start training, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, they know they're gonna get hit.
Right.
And a lot of times these boxers, when they start out as kids, they're little badasses. So their parents put them in there to get their butts whooped.
Got to teach him some discipline.
Like Pablo Rubio was telling us, man.
Yeah.
Why did he become a boxer? To teach him some discipline. His
Yeah,
dad
he
said,
didn't
"You know
even
what he
want to
said?"
become a
He said,
boxer.
Man, I don't want to fight. I was a bad kid. My dad put me in there so I could get beat up.
Yeah, and after a couple of weeks, he was like, you know, I actually kind of like this. I'm going to keep going.
I
And
can
his
do
dad
this.
was probably like, damn, my plan didn't work.
Right? I mean, so, you know, you have to have a certain mentality to be in that ring anyways.
Yeah.
You know, and then just to take that punishment and, you know, it's tough, man.
But, you know, go real quick before we move on to the Canelo Triple G news, latest developments. White, of course, actually won, and he called out Wilder after. What do you think? What do you think about that?
Wilder murks him, dude. It's not even a fight. I know he's the WBC, Dillian White's the WBC silver champion.
But I think it is a good matchup, even though Wilder would be the favorite.
And it'll probably happen before the Wilder-Joshua fight.
No, I think it's for sure going to happen before the Wilder-Joshua fight. But I think it would be a good matchup for both. In terms of, like, at least name recognition and competition and everything, like, I mean, who else can he fight?
Who?
Wilder. Before Joshua. He's not going to fight Joshua this year. He's not.
No.
It's going to be probably summer next year.
Yeah.
He's not. Who else can he fight? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
he has to stay sharp for Joshua. So, and the same thing for Joshua, who's fighting Joseph Parker, I think, next Saturday.
So if that fight happens, does he go across the pond to fight White, or does he make White come here?
I think White comes here.
Yeah.
I think White comes here. And then
I think he demolishes White, man. I mean, seriously, it would
but I think it's a solid matchup in the meantime. You know, I think White does present like enough of a risk towards Wilder. In the meantime, while he waits for Joshua, or they wait for each other, vice versa. So I would like it. You know, I'd like to see that fight instead of, you know, Wilder fighting like a Chris Arreola, the Nightmare, or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's.
So,
Yeah,
or he can fight Stavern again. You want to see that? I know you want to see that, Stacks Stavern. What do you think? You never know.
No.
Oh,
No.
all right, I thought you were a fan. I guess not.
Not of that
Stacks
fight.
isn't a fan.
Ever. That second fight should have never happened, bro. Come on, man.
I don't want to beat a dead horse.
Come on,
we should move on
man.
from that topic.
Please.
We should move on for that topic. But
Talking about heavyweight champions, like you said, man, you just threw real quick out there next week, man.
Joseph Parker, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, let's touch on that really quick. I mean, unification fight, WBO champion Joseph Parker.
No, man.
And he's also from down under.
Parker gets
no,
knocked.
he's from
Parker's getting knocked out. He's from New Zealand.
New
man.
Zealand. Sorry,
New Auckland, New
don't,
Zealand.
Don't get mad at me, Australians.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand. But no, Joshua's gonna handle him. Joshua knocks him out, man.
But I like the fight.
It's a good fight. It's a unification fight.
Yeah, regardless, like I said, going back to my point, regardless of what people say, like, Joshua's a huge favorite, Wilder's a huge favorite, whatever. But they're fighting the top level. He's fighting another champion.
Yeah.
He's gonna most likely unify the title.
Yeah.
The titles. Like, it doesn't matter if you think Parker's gonna be outclassed. They're both world champions. It's just like in Dongo and Crawford. People knew Crawford. He's just special. It's like, oh, he's gonna take care of him. But in Dongo held 2 belts. Crawford held 2 belts. He unified it. It's history. So I'm cool with it, man. I like Parker too. I think he can fight.
Parker slid away with a close decision against Andy Reese, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Andy Reese, he gave Parker a hell of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not real sold on Joseph Parker, you know, but
he is
like
a
you
champion.
said, he's a champion.
And they're fighting.
They're unifying it, so that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, it's a lot better than them fighting, you know, other lesser names in the heavyweight division. So I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it. Like, you know, I knew, you know, of course Joshua's a favorite, but I'm cool with it. World champions going at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the same level of competition we had in the, you know, from the early 2000s or even the late 90s,
of course
man.
Not. Of course not. But I mean, you know, you gotta do what you have. You know, work with what you have in front of you. So what are you supposed to do?
Well, I mean,
they're
they're catching viewers, bro. Because look at
Joshua signed out 100,000 seats in Wembley Stadium or wherever he's at.
What, 90 seconds or something?
It's insane. He's a superstar, man.
What do you think about Dana White going over to England, man, to have a meeting with Joshua?
Saw that.
I
Hey,
guess
you know, I think we should save that because I want Eric. Eric will be back next week for all the fans, but that's a big topic.
We're going to save this just real quick. I'm going to let you know what we're going to talk about next week when amazing Eric is back with us, man. We're going to talk about an offer that Dana White gave Anthony Joshua or he's gonna
And he responded pretty much-
$500 million.
He responded in a positive light, saying, "Hey, you know what?
I'll
Yeah,
take this meeting."
I'm open." Hey, see, we could talk about that for like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so I say
so
we,
we'll wait.
I say
We'll
we
wait for
wait
next
that.
year, man.
But you know, the last part of the show right here, you know, let's talk about the Nevada State Athletic Commission
Here we go.
temporarily suspending Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Hashtag bad meat.
Hashtag bad meat. We called it. You know, if we don't know what we're talking about with hashtag bad meat, go back on our previous shows from a couple weeks ago. Watch them. You'll find out what it means.
Yeah.
But what do you think? There's a hearing April 10th.
April 10th.
What do you think
Okay.
about that? Give me your opinion, Stacks. The Stacks opinion.
My opinion is, this is my opinion. This is not what I think should happen. This is what I'm, how can I say this? This is what I think is going to happen, not what I want to happen. Okay?
Makes sense.
What I think is going to happen is that there's too much damn money to lose. So somebody's pockets are going to get lined and the fight's still going to happen. There's too much money involved with Canelo and Triple G right now.
Right.
Too much that's already been invested by their sponsors, by Hennessy, by Tecate,
T-Mobile Arena.
T-Mobile Arena. All these people are pumping up. I'm sure it's already sold out. I haven't checked the tickets, but I'm sure that the fight's already sold out. There's too much money involved to just give all that money back.
I agree.
There's going to be some fines that come down.
Do you think they'll really fine him though?
I think so, man.
Because then you go back to the point where if it is tainted meat, which they're saying it is, what did the press release say? The Golden Boy press release saying that the levels that they found within Canelo's body were, consistent with what the previous bad meat fighters got.
There were trace amounts
Right.
both times. One was like 600 milliliters shorter than the other one.
Right.
So it's consistent with meat.
Right. What do you think?
You need to know what you're putting in your body. And if you know, and it's soccer players, football teams, other fighters have been popped for clenbuterol,
Right.
you should know. Stay away from it. When you're a world-class athlete and arguably the most recognizable boxer in the world,
Right.
why put yourself in that situation? Why should your team put you in that situation? This dude should have like Gordon Ramsay cooking for him. You know what I'm saying?
With all the money he has, you would think that's a big thing that fans are
With
saying.
all that money. So whether he knew or whether he didn't know or whether it was bad meat or whether he was just trying to use this as something to cut his weight, he should know what's going on in his body.
Right. And it helps you cut weight, and he's moved up to 160, so it's making it easier for him to make that weight.
His weight stays fluctuating, man.
Yeah.
I mean, to fluctuate your weight like that.
I want to believe him, though.
So do I.
I do. I want to believe him, and I hope it's all legitimate. But, I don't think we're ever going to find out the truth. It's just going to stay how it is. It's going to sell the fight even more. And like you said, going back to your point about the money that's invested in this fight, I think that speaks for itself. It's gonna go forward.
Yeah, they're gonna move forward with the fight. There's no way in hell that fight gets called off. None. I mean.
But going back to the promotion about it, I don't know for the White Brown fight yesterday, which was broadcast on HBO in the States, there was no mention of Canelo Triple G on the broadcast. No mention.
I read that. You said that. You're saying it now, but I read that earlier by Dan Raphael. He had said something about that. But you guys got to understand too. Yeah, maybe nothing was said about it, but that was a Sky Sports telecast. So who knows how much they could actually say? How much Sky Sports was going to actually allow them to promote their own fight when they were covering something from Sky Sports?
Right.
So I don't know what they were. What the contract said. I mean, if you got a fight and you own the rights to that fight and you're giving it to me to broadcast on my television station, and you know that millions of viewers are going to be watching, how much are you going to actually allow me to promote my own fight?
Right.
So we don't know what the obligations were with HBO and Sky. We don't know what that contract said.
Right.
Of course,
but I still thought it was kind of strange though. But
maybe afterwards they could have said something about it, because even after they cut the promotions, they could have maybe said something, but. It is a little weird that nothing was said about that fight. But it's going to sell itself, man, even with 30 days. Yeah.
But
And I know you were saying that we were going to be on next week. We're not, man. It's Easter Sunday.
Yeah, so we'll be back. Is it the week after?
The week after Easter.
Week after Easter.
The week after Easter, we'll be back. So
Hopefully the SoCal Boxing Report wishes everybody a happy Easter, happy holiday, whatever you celebrate.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
And I don't know.
Even if it's just a Sunday.
I don't know who
have fun with
created
it.
Easter either, man. All they do is confuse kids.
Oh, man.
Rabbits don't lay eggs, dude. How come they don't have an Easter chicken?
Not with that attitude. They lay boxing gloves.
That's
you
right.
like that, huh? You like that? Like that?
Nah, man. But yeah, what do you
This
think?
is why I'm on the show.
What do you think about Canelo, man? Do you think it's gonna happen?
Yeah, like you said, money. There's too much money invested in it, but I think Triple G and his camp, Abel Sanchez and everything, they're coming out and really turning up the heat. Is what they're saying. But in the back of their minds, they don't want this to be canceled.
No, they don't. They
don't want it to be canceled because they know they're going to make a ton of money off of it. And then Triple G knows that this is a legacy fight for him. It's a legacy fight for both of them.
Yeah.
But if Triple G can win, especially knock him out, that's the moment he's been looking for.
Yeah.
That's the moment he's been looking for. And he's, 36? Canelo's 27. Canelo has a lot more time in the sport to be able to recover from a loss. But Triple G, he's essentially in the last.
I think win or lose, man, this might be it for Triple G. He might just sail off into the sunset with his money, and that's it.
Especially if he wins, and if he wins convincingly, especially by knockout, I could see him, unless he fights Jacobs again, unless Jacobs can pull him out. But
that's a high risk, low reward, man. I don't know how much money they can make off that fight.
You can still make a lot of money off of that fight. You could still make a lot of money off of that fight. So
we'll see what happens there with Jacobs.
But I mean, going back to the Canelo Triple G promotion and how HBO didn't say anything about it yesterday. Fathom Events, I don't know if you know who it is, but they distribute all the movie theaters where the show's where the boxing the Canelo Triple G is gonna be on movie theaters all over the United States, and then I think the closed circuit on the Las Vegas Strip and all that stuff. They took away all mention of the event on their website.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So think about that. Think about that. Got you there, huh?
Thought about it. Still gonna happen.
Just like you got me earlier with the Chocolatito news. Got you back. I got you back. I don't know. I think it's gonna go forward though.
I think it'll move forward too. It's gonna be some type of bogus hearing they have with the Nevada State Athletic Commission.
Mm-hmm.
They'll let the fight go, man.
April 10th. April 10th is gonna be a big day for that event, and I think for boxing, everybody's gonna be watching, tweeting, like, oh, I just heard this and this and that, and then we'll see how it goes. But I think they're gonna say, it's good to go. Yeah. We believe Canelo in his camp. We tested. We saw the science behind it. It's going to go forward May 5th. Guarantee you.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in again today to the Southern California Boxing Report. For Danny Z and myself, Big Stack Saldana. Wish everybody a happy holidays.
And we'll be back like
Easter.
we said.
A week after Easter, we'll be back.
So hopefully you have a happy holiday with whatever you're doing. Happy Sunday, happy Easter, happy Hanukkah.
This call will be recorded and monitored. I have a collect call from
Monique. Mom, pick up the phone. Mom, pick up the phone. Oh, man.
My mama ain't picking up the phone, so I call my baby sis, cause I wanna go home. I said discipline and hit my bellman. No collateral, she like, hell yeah, hell yeah. Easy payments, let's arrange it. Ain't no need to look around, everybody else basic. Get me out of here, sis. She was like, what's the phone number? I'ma call him in a minute. 1-800, bail me out. 1-800, bail me out. 1-800, bail me out. 1-800, bail me out. Come on. 1-800, bail me out. 1-800, bail me out. 1-800, bail me out. 1-800, bail me out. If you or your loved ones are arrested, call Remedy Bail Bonds now. That's 1-800, bail me out. All collect calls will be answered, or visit us online at www.remedybail.com. Se habla español.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.